Well, it's officially panic mode. The Celtics in two consecutive games have now blown 20-point leads. And if that was a game in February, you'd still be a little bit concerned if they did it two times. But this is a game in May. We are in the second round in the playoffs. And yet, once again, our 2022 Celtics have been brought into 2025 where they look like the dominant team, both on the offensive end and on the defensive end. And then somehow get an L on their way out. Not only an L, but a home L. So now they have lost both home games. Not only did they give up home court advantage, they lit it on fire. And maybe that is what the fire was in TD Garden that forced them to evacuate the building after the game. So we didn't even hear from some of the players. What I wish was on fire was the 3-point shot, because in two games, the Celtics have missed 75 3-pointers. They are 25 for 100. Those numbers sound made up. Like 75 threes in two games is a crazy amount. Even if they had taken 75 threes in two games, you would have been like, oh, wow, okay, normal amount of threes. No, no, no. They missed 75. They've taken 100. The Celtics do it again. They choke it out. Now they have to go to New York, and their backs against the wall does not even explain what's going on right now. And once again, in crunch time, they just get swallowed up defensively by Mikal Bridges and Mitchell Robinson. Crazy sequence late in the game. Under 20 seconds left. Tatum, the Celtics are down one. Tatum throws down a dunk, and one of those plays we've seen before, right, where he gets the ball running at the top of the key, or almost like at half court, sprints by everybody, throws it down. The Celtics then give up a bucket. They now have the ball with, I believe it was like something like 7 seconds left or 8 seconds left. They still have a timeout left. It was after Brunson. Yeah, Brunson got fouled, knocked down 2 free throws, I believe. They have a timeout left. Joe Mazzulla elects not to take the timeout. They try to do basically the same thing, where Tatum gets the ball at the top, gets a switch, tries to run in on him. And then Mitchell Robinson made the adjustment from the previous play because he had just saw the previous play. Now, Mazzulla explained, and Tatum doesn't even get a shot off, just throws it away. I believe Bridges now 2 consecutive games closes it out with a steal. Game 1 against Jaylen Brown. Game 2 against Jason Tatum. Mazzulla after the game tried to explain it to be like, well, we wanted to keep Brunson on the floor because if we call timeout, they can make the necessary adjustments. I mean, listen, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback this and be like, he should have called timeout, but I don't know. I don't. It doesn't even seem fair to blame that one possession, because the Celtics decided to take the last 12 minutes of the game, which is the entirety of the fourth quarter, and just be terrible. Now, this is the other thing that's driving me nuts. So Brunson in this game, we'll start going over some of the stats. Brunson had 17 points and 7 assists. He only had 17 points, Mr. Clutch, Mr. Fourth Quarter. 6 for 19 from the field, 2 for 9 from 3. That's good defense on Brunson. And then if you go back to game 1, Karl Anthony Towns only had 13 points and 14 rebounds. So you kept their two best players, Brunson, who has scored 29 points or more in every single playoff game except for one heading into last night. And then Cat, freaking 13 points. So you in both games, you like limited one of their stars. And to come away with that with both L's is insane to me. Cat in this game, we did mention in yesterday's video, if you tuned in, which you should be tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed to the Celtics Daily yet, hit the subscribe button. But we mentioned yesterday that we were due for a Cat game, and we got it last night. He was far more aggressive, stayed out of foul trouble for the most part. He had 21 points and 17 boards, 9 for 16 from the field, like a very, very efficient game from Cat. Josh Hart had 23. OG Anunoby, who went nuts in game 1, did nothing in game 2 offensively, still good defensively. And Bridges, again, just turns into like a fourth quarter menace. He had 14, 7, and 5. Now, on the Celtics side of stuff, this is what drives me nuts. Tatum, 1 for 5 from 3, 5 for 19 from the field. 5 for 19 from the field. What did we say he went? He went like 9 for 23, I think, in game 1, now 5 for 19. That's 14 misses in both games. I'm math wizard right now. And if I'm wrong, that's even hilarious, but I'm not going to fact check it. We're going to keep going. Tatum with 13 points and 14 rebounds. Just can't. It's not enough. That's just not, mathematically speaking, not enough. You get Derek White had 20. He missed 8 threes. He went 3 for 11. Brown had 20, but Brown just had no athleticism late in this game. I mentioned he was doing some bully ball stuff here in the first half, but in the fourth quarter, just couldn't get anywhere, man. I do want to shout out Luke Cornett. I thought he was our best big man on the floor. I thought he was great. He played 18 minutes. He had 6 points and 8 boards. I mentioned KP came off the bench. Porzingis came off the bench. He had 8 points and 4 boards. Drew had 10. Al with 4, but it was tough sledding, man. I mean, this Celtics, one of the best offensive teams in the league, score 90 points. Like, and they held the Knicks to 91. It's not like they just got smoked, but they once again when the moment matters, they just wilted under pressure, and that is going to have to be addressed because you can't rely on beating teams by 25 in the playoffs. And I know, listen, this is a Celtics daily show, so we'll talk about the Celtics, but give the credit to the Knicks too. I mean, they defended and they played pretty poorly. I would say they played pretty poorly through 6 of the 8 quarters of this playoff run so far. And the fourth quarter, they've just been the better team. They've been the better coach team, the better executed team. Their star player's been the better player. It's just you're like dumbfounded watching this because the Celtics team is better than the Knicks, and I stand by like those takes from earlier where I don't think the Knicks should be competing with them, but that's exactly what they're doing. They're competing. They're not better than them, but they're just competing. They're competing harder. They want it more, and I don't know what's going to happen. The Porzingis thing we got to talk about here. He mentioned after the game. Uh, Before we actually talk about it, obviously, I hope he gets better soon. This is clearly a scary thing. It's got to be even like mentally a scary thing. The fact that he's been dealing with this since March, they don't really know what kind of infection, virus, respiratory thing is going on, but he's clearly fatigued and just doesn't have the juice that he normally has. And when you're playing at such a high level like that, those little things, when they creep into your head, make such a massive difference. And he just, again, could only play 14 minutes. And even though he's been struggling, you could say, like, oh, well, maybe we move him to the bench. You still think he'd play like 25 minutes. So only being like Luke Cornett played 4 more minutes than him. Peyton Pritchard played 8 more minutes than him. He's clearly not healthy, and that's such a huge deal, man. It changes what they can do offensively. It changes what they can do defensively. Al Horford has to play 30 minutes a game now. And listen, I love Al, but Al's closer to my age than he is Tatum's age. So I think that is a concern. That's a concern moving forward. And uh, I I mean, I still think the Celtics could get by the Knicks without Porzingis, but not when you're down 0-2. The Celtics now have to win 4 of the next 5 games, and I almost think my take of this entire series is the Celtics either win in 6 or lose in 4. Like I think if they win Game 3, they probably rip off a bunch of Ws. Like they almost, how they always say like shooters keep shooting, although the Celtics have not. They should stop shooting, but you say shooters keep shooting. Once you see the ball go through the net, all of a sudden it's an ocean. I kind of feel like that's what it'll be like if the Celtics can actually get a W. However, man, if they're going to continue to do what they've been doing in clutch time, it's just not enough. I mean, you can't go 14 of 15 in the fourth quarter from field goals. Like you can't go large stretches of time like that. If you break down quarter by quarter, the Celtics won the first quarter by 11, 24-13. They lost the second quarter by 2. They won the third quarter by 3. And then in the fourth quarter, they only scored 17 points. They got outscored 30-17. 30-17. We already talked about some of those field goal percentages. They were 10 for 40 from 3 last night. Just horrific stuff. They were 34 from 94 from the field, so they shot 36% from the field, 25% from the line, from the 3, and then 80% from the line. The turnover battle, they had 16, the Knicks had 15, so that was pretty close. The rebounding, like they still have been beating them on the boards. They out-rebounded them 51-46, and then on the offensive glass, 16-10. They're getting more field goal attempts. Like they took 9 more threes than them, and they took 8 more field goals than them, and you still just lost by 1. And again, it's those fourth quarter shots. There's going to be the clip you'll see a ton in the fourth where I think the defender fell. Tatum's in the corner with a wide open corner 3. Al's under the basket with the Nick defender on the ground. And like, listen, I get why Tatum took the 3. It's a corner 3. It's like the best shot you can get percentage wise. He was wide open. But there's part of me, man, when there's clearly a lid on the rim in the fourth quarter for you guys, move the ball to Allen, just take the 2 or drive and dunk like we saw you do with 18 seconds left. And then that last possession, man, I just like this is 2 games in a row now. 2 games in a row for the Celtics where down by 1 possession, you don't get a shot off. We have Mikal Bridges strip it from JB, and then we had, I think, Mikal Bridges strip it from JT in back-to-back games. Also, credit the Knicks, man. I think they've won 5 road games so far in this postseason. They've won 3 against Detroit and 2 against the Celtics, and I believe they all are 3-point wins or less. I mean, there's just something special about this Knicks team right now, and you didn't see it heading into the playoffs. Like if you compared this Knicks team to last year's Knicks team, the vibes seem a little bit different. I think Knicks fans would say that, right? That it didn't have the same, oh, we all went to Villanova. It didn't have that same energy, even though they're still doing that commercial, which I actually think is a bad commercial, and I want more support on that take. But they really are just scrapping right now. Like you see Josh Hart all over the place. They're winning the 50-50 balls. They just seem way more comfortable when push comes to shove than the Boston Celtics do right now. And that could be the difference. That could be the difference. And now we head to Madison Square Garden. And like you can say all the keys to the game. They need to, like, we could put our dork glasses on and be like, well, actually, they need to make more threes. They need to continue to move the ball. You know what they need to do? They need to score the damn ball in the fourth quarter. I don't even need you to get 40 points. You just get like 20. Just get a normal amount of points in the fourth quarter, and you're at least 1-1, most likely 2-0. The good news is for the Celtics, they were one of the best road teams in the league. They play really well at Madison Square Garden, but this is going to come down right now to Jason Tatum. Tatum has to look at himself in the mirror and has to decide if he's going to be the best player in the series or not, because your running mate, Jaylen Brown, is clearly not 100%, and he's gutting it out. He's playing as best as he can, but he's not as dynamic and as athletic as we've seen in the past, and it's limiting what he can do offensively. Kristaps Porzingis is super limited right now, and he's only going to be probably playing 12 to 18 minutes a game. If we see him past 20 in this series, I'll be shocked. So Tatum has to be the guy that we saw against Orlando, which is a much better defense than the Knicks, score like 30 plus, I think 4 times, and he's dominated the Knicks this season in the regular season. And I don't know if it's the lights too bright. I don't know if the Knicks sandbagged us all season with their wings, OG and Mikal just playing terrible defense and then locking in, or Tatum, you got to hit your open shots, man. And I don't know, yes, I'm happy you're getting bigger on the glass, right? Because we don't have KP. He's been a bigger rebounding force. And yeah, of course that's important, but if you want to be put in the conversation of the MVPs, every single year we get around April, the Celtics have won 55 plus games. Tatum's putting up crazy numbers, and they're like, why isn't he put in that conversation? Well, part of it is you got to do it now, man. You got to do it now, all right? You got to do it now. I'm still not giving up hope yet, but man, it's the hope. The hope is a dwindling, baby. They need to go to New York. We've only had one freaking home win this entire second round so far after OKC beat Denver by a bazillion last night. So who knows? Maybe it's just more beneficial to be on the road. But we don't have game 3, I believe, until Saturday. It's like an afternoon game, so we have an extra day of rest. Hopefully that benefits Jaylen Brown. Hopefully we get some good Porzingis news. And hopefully the Knicks go back to the Knicks of the regular season. But right now, times are tough. Backs against the wall. Can't lose game 3. Also felt that way about game 2, though. So we'll have to wait and see. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck with some pretty difficult offseason conversations, right? Because we talked about this in previous videos, man. But if you are this expensive of a roster, you have a new team that just spent a new owner, that just spent $7 billion on this team, and then you get bounced in, not even the conference finals, especially as we watch the Cavaliers battle all of these injuries and the Pacers on the brink of upsetting them and moving on. The path is so clear to another title defense. We'll deal with the West when you get to the West, but to get through the East, the path is there. You just need to show up. Need to show up and do it on the road. Don't squander these opportunities, because if you do, you're going to see Drew Holiday, maybe Kristaps Porzingis, or maybe a real nuclear bomb is thrown and JB gets moved. I doubt the JB thing, but this lineup the lineup's going to look different no matter what next season. It's going to look very different if they don't get out of the second round. But we got plenty of time to talk about that. We'll focus on game 3. Appreciate you coming in for this therapeutic session for me. I feel like I'm wearing black because it's a funeral, but we're not dead yet. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time.